Welcome back, everyone. We are currently on day 8 of our printing project, and remember, part of our goal here is to embrace the imperfections, right? We want to find beauty in these imperfections. So as you're printing each of these, there's going to be variations. Each one's going to be slightly different from the other, and just know that that's part of the process. That's why we're making more than one of each print, right? That's why we made a couple different bugs, but we're using each of them multiple times so that we understand that every time we print in that printing process, it's going to be somewhat unique and different, and there's going to be variations, and that's part of the charm. Anyway, since we are getting close to the end of this project, I just want to have a quick recap just to make sure we're all on the same page. So at first, well, we talked about the project, but then we made these octagons. And I told you to make for sure 9, because on day 10, we're going to need 9 in our art journal in order to get full credit. But I also suggested maybe making up to 12 of them. Gives you a little bit of a buffer in case any of your prints really don't turn out, like, or something happens to one of them, like gets ripped or your dog eats it, right? Things like that. It actually happens. I get that. So having that little bit of a buffer can be a good thing. Anyway, so you should have had between 9 and 12 of these. Then, the next day we took our paint and we printed on them. Okay? After we printed on them, our next step was to design a bug and to turn it into a cardboard stamp that was elevated, right? So we did that for one day, then we did another bug for a different day, and then we did another bug slash some kind of small creature. In this case, it's a hummingbird, for that third day, right? Then after that, we began our printing process where we took our stamps and put the paint nice and thick on there and printed them onto all of these. So at that point, you should have had at least 3 prints of each of our bugs, right? Maybe 4 if you did the 12 octagons. So it just kind of depends, but we should have multiples of each. Here's the point we're at now. And we started this last class, but where we're starting to color them in. So you can see I've got a few different, here's my 1, 2, 3, and 4 of my bee, right? But now I got to work on the other ones. So each day we're going to kind of work on another bug. So we took day 7 and we started with the first bug. You should have done between 3 and 4 oil pastel colors on these last class. And now we're starting to work on our other ones, okay? So next I'm going to be starting on my hummingbirds. These are the 2 that I've started so far, but I'm going to need to continue with these. So you can see, like, they've got a good start, right? Like, they're looking pretty good. But I'm probably going to want to add, like, maybe some more color here. Maybe, like, define the beak and this wing a little bit more. I've done a bit of that on the other one, but I've still got this back part of the wing to kind of embellish and to add to. So we're going to get these oil pastels out yet again today for the second of our 3 different images, and we're going to continue using our oil pastels. I like to use, kind of gradients, colors that are next to each other on the color wheel or that are similar. I always think that works really well for blending. And I also like to use white to highlight. So I use my dark red. Here I'm kind of using that mid-tone next to it. Maybe next I'll do that kind of orangish red. And you guys feel free to take more time. I just want to make sure a demo doesn't last forever and ever. Here we go to the next orange one. And kind of that dandelion yellow orange. And then I did even up here, I went into the greens too. So let's see if I can find, yep, there's my light green. Now you can see this doesn't look nearly as nice as that. So we got some blending to do next. Usually with my blending, I like to just kind of go lightly over the area where the two colors meet a little bit. And that'll help out. And I might actually bring in some darker colors to define between those as well. Let's see what one would be next. This one here, to help blend those two colors. So this is what we call color gradients. You don't have to do this, but it's just a suggestion of a way to kind of make it look really nice. See how that's starting to blend together now, where you can barely tell the difference where one color ends and the next begins. That's a color gradient. You really do have to use colors that are similar next to each other though. If I were to do like purple and orange, it's not going to work very well. Okay, I'm going to take in a darker color now just to give some more defined edges between some of these. I kind of lost some of that. Alright. And then I might come back in with those colors again. Really, I want you, just like we did with shading, I want you to think of this as a building process. Okay? So it's not like we're going to get done in one shot by any means. You kind of build one on top of the other. Oh wait, that's not the next one. Almost did the wrong one. It would have been okay, but so just kind of blending in so we don't see that stark line. Let's see, next comes the dandelion yellow. Blending that. So you can see it's just really a lot of layer on top of layer. Now you could also be using like some kind of a tissue paper or paper towel under your hand just so you're not smudging too much. I was kind of holding my hand elevated. So that's looking good. Now, do you guys see though, like the white, how much that really like adds a pop to it? So don't be afraid to come back in too with your white and just add some touches to make it pop a little bit more. And you can always blend it in if it's popping too much. You can blend it in as well. But that can help add some nice dimension to it as well. So I'm going to continue with this on all of my hummingbirds today. And then of course we've got tomorrow to finish with whatever our third bug or little critter is. And that should get us to either 9 or up to 12 if we did all of those before we turn it in on day 10. All right, I can't wait to see how these are turning out. Have fun!